来这边，来这边，快 Q 他，他没有闪，运气死了，他没闪的，可以，他踢不到你，好，往后撤。
10秒 W， 我等你，我开加速直接上，来，冲，我开加速，上，Q， nice， 我奶死了 ，nice，
别跑了，一波了呀，5打3，哇，哎，没错，这可以，这真的可以。
Well, we're celebrating 10 years of Worlds action, and League of Legends keeps bringing people together on and off the Rift. Thank you to our friends at Oppo for highlighting the passion from the Chinese community. I think we've now also found out why the LPL players are so good. They, in fact, have to train, apparently, without a mouse mat, with, a slide-out keyboard. They have to, bring files away when they're training so that if they graduate to the PC Bong and to the Rift, they're pro.
You know,
I love
Knight used to play like this.
No way.
Yeah.
Ah, cool.
He doesn't do it anymore, but there's pictures of him all over Weibo. You can see because he's left-handed, and he actually just used to cross his arms.
We're just kidding, of course, but with that, we are going to get into Game 3 in today's LPL Clash. We'll be covering the picks and bans here from the State Farm Analyst Desk, and we're right into them. Cadril, lovely.
Yeah, I think Sunning needs to ban away things they did before, things like the Lucian, the Syndra. We're looking at things like the Nidalee, the Ornn, whereas some target bans from top. We already see the Camille. I'm expecting things like the Graves, perhaps the Kindred as well.
There's also been a lot of pinch of the AD carry pool as well, with high priority on Jhin as a first pick. Even a conversation where we're like, okay, is it the Graves that's going to be a huge priority here? It has been banned away, but even when it's open, teams opting into that Jhin priority.
Yeah, and we've seen it twice now. The Jhin first pick into the Lee Sin Ezreal 1-2 on red side. We've seen it from both sides, so there's the Kindred ban. That leaves Nidalee Graves open. If one of them gets banned away, I assume the other will as well. But we see the Knight's champion pool is being taken out, which I think is a very smart move. I think Knight's two best champions are Syndra and his Lucian. He has been on Orianna 2 games in a row. There's the Graves, so I'm expecting something like a Nidalee ban now, and then a Jhin first pick. Back to something like an Ezreal Lee Sin, perhaps. We might see a reverse of the same draft, because red side seems to be favored in these games.
It does. In Game 1, we, of course, saw JackeyLove pinching that Jhin away. So let's see what happens here.
Unless they want to swap it up and pick the Ornn.
The Ornn in...
Oh, it's the Lee Sin prio!
Is this what's going to happen here? I really think there's lots of counters here that SofM can put out. He can put out things like perhaps something like a Skarner. We've seen him played in the past. The sets, what Karsa pulled out, which didn't go to much success because he didn't get too many early game plays in.
Even a Rek'Sai?
Even a Rek'Sai could be good. I don't like...
Can't believe what I'm hearing here.
Too much, but it's banned out. So 4 junglers down now for SofM.
Oh, this is wild. Okay, so the cool thing here is, again, Karsa, SofM, legendary Lee Sin players. And so the fact that, Jhin has been such high priority to then pivot and then have such high priority on Lee Sin. We already talked about, how Ezreal has been really influential from both of these AD carries. We did see a little bit of the hover of the Callista, but, this is a lot of agency, a lot of, pocket picks for all of these players, and when it comes down to this mentality of the 51% I can outplay my opponent, this is exactly the types of champions that you want, the Lee Sins, the Ezreals.
Okay, for someone like me who doesn't understand it that much, why would you go away from your comfort if it's open? Is this to pick away something that JackeyLove is super comfortable on then?
Perhaps they're unsure of. The thing is, if you're playing Jhin into Lee Sin, you're very mobile, so if you can get instantly kicked out, if they pick the Ornn as well, you're super mobile. The Ezreal just frees up a lot. You can get the mid push alone. You're very sort of self-sufficient in a way where you can catch waves, you can be safe on your own, you can use your E away to get from away from the Lee Sin. But it can be countered. We've seen things like the Kaisa hovering the Draven here. The thing with Ezreal is it's a losing. Most of the time it loses lane because it doesn't have many push options, similar to Senna. Can take tower plays fast, but things like the Caitlyn, the Draven, even things like Kaisa do really well into him. So we've seen a Caitlyn pick here. Damwon did this yesterday. They picked Caitlyn on blue side, left their support pick to red to the 4-5. But if they want to go for something like Caitlyn Morgana here, it can get countered. So Caitlyn Lux does work better. I'm expecting some kind of response from Sunning, perhaps Ezreal Karma if they want to match range support, or they can just pick up their jungler, because I feel like if they don't pick up their jungler on 3, they might struggle in the 4-5.
So JackeyLove going for lane dominance here. He is a very well-known Draven player, so that hover is not just him playing. He can pull the trigger on that one. Kadra already talked about how these two champions will synergize together. You hit a Lux binding. We saw it from Team Liquid. The trap comes out. You can put out massive amounts of damage. And now I'm curious if they'll double down on it, as Kadra was talking about, and start to pinch maybe support pool. Like, maybe you try to take away the Karma to make sure that you absolutely win the 2v2, or if Sunning are just going to, like, sack the bot lane, they know that they have the Ezreal, he can play safe, he can farm from a distance, and then find a really strong setup support like that Leona, and then double down on SofM, finding some sort of hard farming jungler, and then allowing SwordArt to be the primary gank assist or setup for that carry potential. Things like HeCram are still available. SofM does play it, even if he hasn't really shown it at Worlds so far, so it is an old school pick for him.
I like the Leona pick. It just solidifies your 3v3 to be stronger if you can get some sort of engage. It's really good against the Lux as well, so if this Lux or Caitlyn isn't running something like the Cleanse, they can get popped in a CC combo. So they're going to ban out mids, obviously, because they have the Orianna. They can ban away things like the Azir, perhaps even things like the LeBlanc if they want to. They're scared of the Lee Sin LeBlanc combo, whereas on the side of top
Maybe
esports,
take away the Zoe.
or the Zoe, the side of top esports are going to ban away probably junglers here. I'm looking at, I think there's a lot of junglers open. I think SofM must have said that he was confident. I'm a bit confused by the Jarvan ban, because
it's because of the Orianna. They want a traditional
see.
cannonball composition, and it's like the LPL staple in Classic.
Yeah, Lee Sin versus Jarvan is quite fair for Lee Sin, but that makes a lot of sense for the team fight. So I'm looking at things like HeCram Orianna here. I'm looking at things like Rek'Sai perhaps. Even Skarner could be good if they can find some carry top, which I think Sunning has always been leaning towards. We saw Bin on the Ornn last game. It's his first time on Ornn. This guy's always playing carry tops. They're definitely going to last pick top in this series. So
even things like a Gangplank are also still available. By banning Sylas, it does have me lean towards more of like a Gangplank and a HeCram as kind of the picks to round out the composition, because Sylas obviously would be able to take away those big key ultimates, so it does make it safer to pick those champions when we do know that Knight and 369 could have also taken the Sylas.
I wonder if they might just want to pick away GP here, because GP is so good for their comp.
I think he's also really nice blind, unless maybe they go for Renekton.
Yeah, I think GP doesn't really have many counters, other than maybe some ranged top laners, things like the Jace, if you want to go into those kind of matchups.
Oh my god! It's going HeCram. It's the ball delivery.
Oh, no.
This is like totally set for HeCram.
Man. They're diving the backline. They definitely need to pick some sort of engage here. I'm expecting someone like a HeCram on last pick. I'm expecting something like a GP counter top here for 369. It's such a good matchup. GP into Shen always has the push. They're going to go Ekko, it looks like, into the mid lane of Orianna from Angel. And I mean, if you can look at Sunning's comp, you know they're diving your backline. Ezreal's playing on his own in the backline as himself. So the Shen, the Orianna, the HeCram are all going in the backline. Ezreal's being self-sufficient. And I like the response from top esports. Don't pick a mage. Don't allow yourself to get dove. Pick an assassin with an ult, which can kind of play self-sufficient as well. So
Great adaptation.
They've got winning lanes. They got a counter in every single lane. Doesn't look like they're going to go for the GP. They're going to go for something like the Renekton instead.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to try to split up fights. It's going to be diving into backline. Who gets there first? We have already set up the HeCram. I expect either a HeCram or maybe even a Nocturne would be the pick here. If you pivoted towards a Nocturne, it's because you are worried about that side lane play.
It's a River Shen.
Oh my god.
Is it a River Shen?
It's a hover, but you're so excited, so I hope it gets locked in for you.
I'm a fan of the River Shen. It's really good against Lee Sin. So they're definitely countering top here. Jax
the
into
mind
Renekton
games.
isn't what I expected.
This is why you don't talk about hovers, Kadra. First lesson of picks and bans. You get too excited.
That is really naughty what they've pulled out there. I like it.
All right, here we go.
They've got the Jax on side lane with the Shen ult, so if they can get this Jax rolling, he's unleashed on the side lane.
And he's unkillable.
The problem I have is, I think Renekton beats Jax in the early game. I think that you have, yes, your mid lane's getting pushed in, but you really have a hard winning bot as well. But they have a winning jungle. They have a really hard winning mid as well. So
I need the notes on the River Shen, on the jungle Shen.
The notes?
Yes.
I mean, you
Well,
power farm until...
notes.
Well, let me tell you, he wins 1v1 against Lee Sin, pre-level 4. He doesn't clear too fast. He's a single target damage camp clearer, so you'll see him do something like blue gromp red, red blue gromp into Krugs. The Raptors are a bit annoying, but SofM's a Raptors connoisseur, so you won't have a problem with that. And it's really good in mid 2v2s if you can get the taunt flash. It's really good on the ult because basically as soon as you hit 6, you can power farm. If the enemy jungle makes a play, you ult on the play. So not only have you got really good early game, you have really good dragon control as well because Shen is really good at doing the Drake with his Q and the W. You have really good, decent engage with Leona Shen now, and you have some side lane pressure into the mid game when the tier 1s are down for the Shen ult.
But it's still an adaptation from SofM. This is not the power farming jungler. This is about the setup towards level 6. Maybe he tries to hard farm for it to get it very early on and then making plays into the side lane, and most importantly, setting up his top laner for success. Like you said, Renekton versus Jax can be very brutal early on, but you want to make sure that you can get that Jax out of the lane and then make him unkillable with a Shin ultimate later on.
What we've seen is team fights. Who gets the edge here?
The thing is, Top Esports have drafted a 1-3-1 comp. They have Caitlyn Lux mid for the push, then they have Ekko and Renekton overside, so they're not playing for team fights too much. Whereas on the other side, on the side of Sunning, you had a huge team fight comp thinking we're going to go for Hecarim last pick, but then they went for a 1-4 with a Shen ult. So I'm not sure. They have the they have the decent team fight comp with Ezreal and Orianna and stuff like this, but they have also decent side pressure. So it all depends. If the Jax is ahead, you have side pressure. If you don't have side pressure, you're going to lose the team
What
fights.
I'm hearing is both drafted side lanes, which means we're still going to see team fights because that's what we've seen. But we'll
Jax
see
is
what
flying in there
happens.
with Shin and Ori on top of him.
Very interesting
have so much
draft. I
peel
want
as
to
well.
know what our casters have to say about it. That's enough now. I know you guys are excited, but we're going to leave it over to Freak and Kobe for game 3.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you very much, Shocks, and we are on to the Rift for Game 3. A tie score between Top Esports and Suning in this best of 5, and already we get excitement as Suning are going for an aggressive level 1 in the bottom side. Yuyanjia.
I think this is really smart because if you get a summoner spell off of Caitlyn Lux lane, you can destroy them.
And they're not going to go for more, okay?
Now, I will say that they used an early Caitlyn Lux pick from Top Esports in the first game versus Suning in the semifinals, and it creates this situation where both junglers, not just Karsa, have to deal with the possibility, have to deal with the possibilities of topside volatile matchup plus a Caitlyn Lux lane, which wants to perma-push, wants to get you under the tower, wants to farm their own turret plates off that tower, but has the possibility of falling prey to a Leona Shen combination. That's why a level 1 looking to get a summoner spell off the bottom lane could have been a really big thing for Suning, because they want to, try and use the threat of your all-in with your Leona Shen coming down there to punish the ever-pushing Caitlyn Lux.
And you can see Yuyanjia going for Summoner Heal. Now, Guardian is very typical for support Lux. It was actually nerfed and still being used all the time as they're going to kind of step up. It is going to be Relic Shield Lux, which gives her some more durability overall. They're going for autos and a SwordArt, and realistically, with the rank 1 W for Lux, you do not win any 2-on-2 as any champion. It is always a lead, so they can walk in and auto attack, and SwordArt must run away, makes them make the play happen, but now 369 going to play aggressively early on. And I am intrigued with how the early game is going to play out, because you have a pushing top side, a pushing bot side, but a losing mid lane, and Karsa has to navigate around both extremes of the map.
Yeah, and it creates a very interesting dichotomy. He's going for the red steel here first. This way, you circumvent the problem of a Shen going up to try and help Jax, because the analyst stats touched on it a little bit, but Renekton can really lay hurt on Jax early on, and especially if you have a Lee Sin cycling on the top side of this map. By removing Shen's top side camps, you make it very inefficient for the Shen to go up there and try and help that matchup. And Karsa's going up there first. Rage Bar is charged up for 369, but he's low on health.
Is there going to be a stun? What's the timing and everything? But now another fight into the bottom side. Shields come back out. JackeyLove forced to cleanse. He's actually running out of health now. They are charging in. He's got a flash away to safety, but the flash stun for SwordArt. And first blood comes through. Trade it back, though. It's going to be a kill coming through for Ezreal. One traded back for Lux. Still, dead AD carries for both teams.
Oh, you have to play that lane with no fear, Freak, when you're playing the Leona side of it. Let's see if the follow-up here on the jungle, though. SofM
wants to stab Karsa in the back. Level 3 for both. Actually, no, only level 2 right now for Karsa. He's being pushed around, smites for health, and that means SofM gets the very easy take of Gromp, and Karsa is on 2 camps to 4 right now.
River Shen cannot be trifled with, Freak, and he's going to keep laying it on.
Has to flash for the shield, flash to stun into the turret, and that's going to be a kill picked up, but a trade stun. It might be Bin going down. No! You gotta be kidding, Suning. 2 for 0 topside.
River Shen reigns supreme. Are you kidding me? SofM style of me on full display here. He follows the Lee Sin up to the top side. Yeah, you stole my red, but we are going to get the Jax an early lead. Are you kidding me? This is an overwhelmingly great start for Suning Gaming. Considering the champion select that they had, this is a dream scenario. Renekton down in farm, down in kills to a Jax. Bottom side already burning summoners. The Leona playing aggressively, getting that advantage there. SofM forcing the early smite for health from Karsa, finishes up the Gromp, and they go for the kill. Bin does not hesitate. This is a rookie on the world stage here. Semifinals. He gets the extra kill, and they're right back at it.
Well, Knight low on mana, gets taunted up. Now going to look for his stun, but also if I'm going to get out of range of that W. Shield doesn't mean too much. Knight can walk away back to mid lane as He had shoved and looked around. 4 CS difference in mid. Angel picking up a bit. Hex flash behind. JackeyLove gonna be found out, stunned in place. Not a lot of good ways out of this one. He's gonna fall. huanfeng finds his second kill of the game.
Oh, they've learned something after the first meetup here for sure. SwordArt also showing his style. Hex flash over to punish. The flares just keep on coming, Freak.
Oh, the G2 flare against JackeyLove. Like, you might have won in the final, but you're not against the LEC today, buddy. You're against the LPL, and we're going to take you down. Suning off to a great start so far in Game 3. Knight has ult advantage. He can tower dive a bit here against Angel. Gets some damage, walks away.
Knight's walking into the Summoner's Rift, and the whole thing's on fire right now. He's like, I'm ahead in CS here on my Ekko matchup in mid lane. What's going on in the sides here? Top Esports, #1 LPL seed, are coming apart at the seams, and it is due to Suning's flexibility, something that they have been criticized for here. And they have really shown up such big moves here in the early stages. Now, got to calm down, though, and look at how they play it out, because the veterans here on Top Esports still going to try and retake control. The Caitlyn Lux still wants to pull the same game plan. Nice deep ward there from SwordArt. Does see the hover from Karsa, though, and they won't get it off the ground right now. I mean, this Caitlyn Lux being on their side of the map is just such beautiful vision here for Suning Gaming, because the aggressive play from SwordArt and huanfeng, they have been able to take away any of that priority.
Nice little bit of damage there from Angel, and we've got a 2,000 gold difference. And I'm kind of stuck on the G2 flare, actually, because JackeyLove's finals victory was against Fnatic. I don't know if you want to like say, hey, look at this matchup you won, but if you're trying to find a BO5 to tilt JackeyLove, where's the Team Liquid flare? Where's the, hey, remember MSI semifinals from last year? Like, if you're going to pick something to try to tilt JackeyLove, it's like, hey, remember losing in the spring split to JD Gaming? And, I mean, it's not great, right? But he doesn't lose a lot of matches, so those are the only 2 I can think of.
Yeah, I can tell you're stuck on it, but it's fine, Freak. Shen now at the bottom side of the map, and remember, we're trying to set up the possibilities, and they're greatly enhanced by SwordArt playing so aggressively here with huanfeng not hesitating to Arcane Shift in every time he goes for a combination. Now that you have the possibilities of Flash Shen following up, JackeyLove, and here we go, another look.
They got the shields, they get the health going back, and now a root is a lot of damage back over towards poor SwordArt. 200 health left, and now huanfeng is on the run. Suddenly they are out of damage, they are out of crowd control, and that is how those trades are supposed to go once you've got, you know, the ability to get your spells off and stay alive long if you're not getting bursted. We are between recalls for huanfeng, right? No bonus damage, just the cool. That is not a lot right now. Once he gets a Sheen and some more, it looks scary again, but low damage.
I gotta talk more about River Shen. You know,
Okay.
I've been spamming the jungle Shen. I love it so much when it showed up for us in North America. This is an ultimate already coming out of him into the 1v1.
And it's gonna be a flash into the taunt, and Ben follows through for his second kill. Suning winning the bot lane, they're winning the top lane. Karsa can solo a Drake, but that is all that Top Esports are getting.
I wasn't even gonna talk about the ultimate play. I was gonna talk about the build. This is no support Shen from the jungle build, Freak. This is the solo queue hard carry Shen you love to see. He's gonna turn his Tiamat into a Titanic. He rushes the Tiamat for the jungle clear because they had the successful play on top side and he got so much money. This means Shen gets to power through the jungle. Usually you'll have a slow clear, but with an early Tiamat rush off of that top side success, you get to your level 6 so quickly. He made the top side play. Bin, though, has to deal with Knight's roam.
And here comes the play to the top side. Now, Ben does have flash. Knight is not going to get the stun, but he's going to get part of a slow. A little bit of chase down, trying to get the passive off. Not going to be much more. Ben walks away. Still has a 23 CS lead. He's got 2 kills. He's up a level. Top diff is in full effect right now. And maybe Top Esports gets something back. They're fighting for top Herald, but SofM is here. Angel is here, and we may see Ben come down soon.
Yeah, they're going to run him right off this Rift Herald. Looks like they have to wait for Bin to come down, though. This is a fully stacked up Rage Renekton.
Calling.
Teleport. He does have teleport, so just the recall doesn't mean they're giving up on it, though. They have SwordArt's roam. The AD carries are coming from base, and that's plenty of time. With that full leash on the Patience, plenty of time for him to get back.
and bot lane was mostly shoved in. It's going to slow push back towards Suning soon enough. They're going to have more farm down there when they re-engage into that lane. For now, we still have the Scuttle fight, the Herald fight, and it's going to be a full 5-on-5. Bin is choosing to walk instead of TP. Now comes the teleport. Now comes the 5-on-5 at 9:30 for Rift Herald, and here comes the brawl. Now, Suning have the gold lead. They spent all the money on Bin. He's the one holding all the cards, and the fight comes in. The smite goes through. I believe Karsa grabbed it, but now we got the fight coming across now to the front side. We've got the ults coming across. SwordArt going to stay alive and walk away. Bin going to come in for a bit more. Karsa over the wall stays alive. 269 pops the ult. He wants to go back in. It's actually SofM who is holding on to Rift Herald, so it was Suning who grabbed it, and now the flash away. They are respecting 369's flash stun. When's he going to go for it? Looking at SofM, he's going to find that stun. Now to the back line. The other side of the fight is the important part. Knight finds SofM, but a re-kill comes through for huanfeng. Still the 4-on-4. Second kill comes through for SwordArt, knocking down the rest of the bot lane, and it's time to run away. Top Esports lose the Herald. They lose 2 kills. It's all Suning in game 3.
Welcome to the LPL side of the bracket here. We've got 2 fights going on. The deep chase onto SofM does result in the kill on the jungler, but Suning always look for the possibility of the turn on this play. I was going to mention that the shockwave was held onto for so long by Angel. Once Bin finds the opportunity, they just cut off the backside. Knight and 369 dive so deep onto the jungle Shen to go kill him, it sets it up. SwordArt goes in, and Angel, he held onto that shockwave for so long. Patience is a virtue freak, and it paid off.
It really did. 4,000 gold lead with more coming in. Once Herald is summoned, we're going to see the Cinderhulk complete from SofM, and then finish Titanic, as you were mentioning before. We're still seeing the scaling build out of the Oriannas. Angel, this time around, going for the more typical Archangel staff and the champion. Knight going towards most likely Proto Belt for extra wave clear. And we'll wait as more items come through. Manamuni completed for huanfeng. Right now, just the BF sword for JackeyLove. So he is going to be still in danger. 0-3 on Caitlyn. In game 1, I said he was the best AD carry in the world. He's having a pretty rough series so far.
I have to say, Freak, considering the champion select, the way this early game has gone is just an absolute avalanche in the favor of Suning. And the reason this is so exciting for them is because, like all series long, we've been mentioning the history between these 2 teams of how much TES has taken them down. You know, Suning only winning that 1 game versus them in spring in the regular season. But it's about growth, and League of Legends is always about getting better, and especially here on the world stage, for Suning to show this is just tremendous.
Look at that damage. And of course, Shen ulti is up, so Bin has a shield in his back pocket, forcing 369 away. They thought he was counterpicking Shen. They moved the jungle, and now a cleanse is going to get JackeyLove to safety. Dodges both ultis as a result. He's going to stay alive. And goes for a bit of wave clear. Should be not much of a problem, but first turret is gone. And they're going to get the second charge no problem here from Rift Herald as well. I believe they actually spot Karsa bottom jungle. Bin knows he is safe. SofM gets a defensive ward down there, and they might take top lane tier 2 as well.
Yeah, the Jax bonk is way more fearsome than the Ornn bonk, Freak. That is a very different noise. Bin is living the Jax dream. Topside, both towers already down, greatly accelerated into the split push game. Meanwhile, SwordArt and huanfeng still looking for those plays, keeping their tower pristine.
Between cooldowns for now, good damage there. huanfeng takes a Q, good expectation for JackeyLove to Q to the side. One point about Caitlyn Leona I want to talk about actually is an interesting interaction. Caitlyn's E, the dash away, it does not dash if you are CC. Now a fight in the bottom side. 3v2 though, because Karsa was already there. I know your tactics, but the Shen shows up now as well. Can't find the taunt. Hilbert coming down now. This is a 4v3. SwordArt already knows he is dead. Karsa gets the kill with red buff, and a stun's going to come across now to SofM. They are chasing in. They find the laser, and they're going to find 2 kills. TES showing signs of life. A Drake is available as well.
Nice double teleport counter here for TES. And the big part is, as you mentioned, an objective afterwards. It's not just a couple of kills, not just some gold in their pockets, which, by the way, they desperately need, but it is going to be Dragon number 2 for them. Angel doing some work himself, tries to get something by hand, but honestly, really good timing for that play, too. You get a full reset since top 2 towers were both taken. 369 using his teleport early there is not punishable, since there's nothing for Jax to really get. He has to push it up the really long lane, and Renekton gets the reset, gets to go catch the wave.
Well, if Top Esports can somehow stack this, it's going to be a sub 25-minute Ocean Soul. See if that's even possible, though. Keep in mind, plenty of burst damage from the Orianna plus everything else combo coming through. may not mean too much for poor JackeyLove. You've got the very fast Mikhail's Crucible in for yuyanjia. That's going to be nice. That's what he's going to spend those 2 kills worth of gold on. So JackeyLove, if he tries to net away from Leona, by the way. Never mind. We got to fight.
All right, so this is the replay, and as you were talking about, Karsa laying in wait, trying to pull it out. They were setting this play up for so long, and this shows so much of the foresight of top esports. Both teleports were preemptively looking down there. Karsa laying in wait. They knew they had to make an all-in play at this juncture, lest the game go completely snowball in Suning's favor. If not for that commitment, Freak, to a comeback play on the bottom side of the map, this would have just absolutely snowballed out of control. Even so, it might do that, given how strong Jax is and how open the possibilities of the split are for Bin.
It kind of feels like the more obvious version of Game 1, where Suning had a winning top lane and he was able to win it on the Wukong. Suning now winning top lane, but a lot better everywhere else. Top esports may just not have that ace up their sleeve to turn things around. The long story short, if you're CC'd, you don't move anywhere with the Caitlyn E. Unlike things like Arcane Shift or Rocket Jump, you just stay in place, shoot the net, and do nothing, which makes it very hard to evade Leona. Because by the time you see the E come out, it's too late. You will be rooted by the time the net comes out. So you have to basically predict when the CC comes in, or you're dead.
How fitting. Zenith Blade moves faster than light, basically. able to get there. SwordArt here continuing to push on the bottom side, regardless of who's there. You know, they have been able to rotate into the 1-3-1 here, and it's Knight going for the kill.
huanfeng, okay, gonna burn the ulti quickly for health, but now Karsa gets the kick flash backwards, no way out, finds it slow. They might get more. SwordArt does have flash if he needs it, burns it here, but Knight is still in the chase. They're gonna have more damage. The Q comes through, and it's gonna finally get picked up. Knight gonna find the kill. The double flashes at a turret, and that's 2 crucial kills. The Ekko has been unlocked to the side lane.
Yeah, Knight trying to pull this one back after the teleport play. Karsa coming in with that sweet kickback as well, very timely for them. This is them clawing their way back into the game. And Ekko will be the answer in one of these possibilities of trying to push out the opposite side lane here. Now, Jack's extremely fed and is going to get to a super early Trinity Force at that 2-item power spike is going to be a massive threat, but Knight has quickly racked up 3 kills for himself. Proto Belt, and it looks like he's going into the Lichbane too with the early Sheen here, going for one-shot possibilities. I really like that because that's what you have to go for in games like this. You do have to be the true assassin, finding those extremely important kills onto the Ezreal, onto the Orianna.
We're going to see a tankier build at Karsa, though, stacking up. Might go for a Black Cleaver. That is part of the build, but you may see something like Warmogs instead, although that would be too early for the stacking. We'll see where it goes. There's a couple of different options with those items. Regardless, though, yeah, damage starting to come through. Wanted to see Knight find the assassination plays. Triforce coming in pretty soon for Bin. This is still looking pretty good for Suning, but it has started moving back towards TES. Next Drake spawns in 115, and that kind of signals, all right, it's time to get your recalls off, get your items ready, and hope you have enough for the next fight right now. Iceborne Gauntlet may finish in time for huanfeng. Angel, of course, happily with Seraphs complete.
Super happy to see the plays from top as well. You know, them continuing to fire away and mechanically execute on these plays while they're down shows resilience on the world stage. You know, we mentioned already, if you took out JackeyLove and the 2 Flash Wolves players, then this is the first time at Worlds for everybody else in this game. Everybody's been talking so much about the high caliber of Knight. Glad to see that some losing side lanes aren't going to deter him from trying to make big plays.
And I was wondering in the series when Knight was going to show up. He's the 2020 Summer Split MVP of the LPL. Obviously, All-Pro mid there as well. 369 was 3rd place All-Pro team, and that was it. That was the All-Pro team from Top Esports, was just Knight in 369, and Knight was 1st place. And finally, finding a game for himself where he is going to be the difference maker. He's going to be the one to do the heavy lifting, most CS on his team, most kills in his team. The mid lane turret will fall. Suning up to 3-0 on turrets. This Drake is alive now, and Knight is about to be in a 1v3.
Yep, they definitely want to play off the Jax on the side of Suning. They're trying to take down 3-kill Ekko here. He goes for the wave first.
Delays the shield as long as he can. Says, all right, there's no dive anymore. Angel took a shot from the turret.
Can't get out, though. Look at the mini-map right now. It's TES committing to this push on the other side.
69 TP. He is. All right, they're going to just join up with the rest of the squad. Now, Karsa's sitting there just farming his wolves. Like, he's not part of this play. They're like, TP is enough. Just get your farm. It's okay. But this dragon is alive. and Karsa on the wrong side of the map for it. So no one is going to fight for this one. Drake will be handed over. Instead, top is pushed into the turret. 369 would have loved to get the turret as a trade, but because of the pressure bot side, had the TP and help out Knight.
Yeah, I don't think they can afford to lose Knight, because even if you do trade the turret in that situation, you're opening the map up further for Bin, for this Jax, who's about to complete Trinity Force, to just run rampant. And yes, it does hurt for top to give up that dragon, but because they're so far behind in gold, that's why often the early dragon leads like this, where you're losing in other parts of the map, you're giving up a lot of gold, don't make dragon stacking really feasible unless your opponents mess up. Because they're getting so much more gold, those fights around those, third and fourth dragons are so heavily in their favor.
So it's time to stack up. You can see the gold has plateaued and come back somewhat. Obviously still very much in Suning's favor. Dragon Soul just tended to not mean too much so far in this series. Teams have gotten close and then it was too late and the other team was ready to go back for this one. TES shortcutting the Dragon Soul point. They're going at 2. And then, it's time to go the other way with this one. Obviously, Suning have been in control the whole time. They've been getting top pressure as a trade for some Drakes that are fairly inconsequential.
And as we see the split push start to develop, Freak, I just want to re-emphasize and go into detail why it's so strong. Yes, the Jax got super fed early. That's dream scenario. But this is a team with also the jungle Shen and a Leona for forcing on the other side of the map. So you are faced with this catch-22 situation on the side of TES where you have too many problems to deal with. The Shen can come stand united the Jax if you try and cut off the Jax and overload that side. Plus, you have to worry about dive opportunities from the Leona hard CC into shockwaves from Orianna, pulling off plays for the other side as well. So that's why, considering the drafts coming in, Suning are so happy here.
Yeah, the 4-1 split push is actually a 2-3 at any point in time where it looks even remotely close. And as you mentioned, right, the Leona can just punish the weak side when you do try to show up on a Jax. So good luck with this one. Trinity Force now completed. Bin is the strongest champion on the map. No one can duel him. Blue buff fight comes in. Orianna coming down. They find the stun, and this could be a kill. Oh, she is attacked, and goodbye. Yuyanjia tries to flash. Shield stays alive. Night Force ults away as well, but the blue is stolen. No kills. Good survival, I suppose, but Suning can still just flex their muscles across this map.
And honestly, he owes his life to Knight right there. Because Knight tries to apply pressure to huanfeng in order to get them to stop chasing yuyanjia.
Yeah.
And he's able to do it. It costs his ultimate. It does cost cooldowns for them, but he ensures the survival of their support.
Well, live another day, get a bit more time, no easy Baron attempts right now. Gold difference still sits at 3,000 gold. It's not gigantic, but it's certainly a big lead. It's certainly looking quite Suning favored. Item spikes are coming through. Liandry's now done for Angel. Iceborne plus QSS done for huanfeng. He's going to be a difficult target to kill. We already mentioned the 2 items done for Bin, so he's going to keep running around the side lanes. And 4 turrets already gone. We, of course, saw top lane 2-2 drop to the first Rift Herald a while back. But the outers in mid and bot are gone as well, and we'll look for the next target from Suning. Next Drake's in a minute 45. I don't know if they're going to play for Soul or not, but they can at least go for another turret probably.
Honestly, I'm actually really impressed with how top have played this, considering how devastating the early game was for them. And you always have to keep your mind open to the possibilities of the Ekko one-shots here. So Knight's position with a teleport is going to be #1 priority for Suning to keep track of. Currently, he's teleporting and he's holding he's split pushing and holding the threat of his teleport in a way to get gold back for TES. And they've been slowly clawing their way back into this game ever since the devastation that happened in top side and bottom side right at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Honestly, the composure of this team, of the #1 seed from the LPL, definitely showing up really big here.
I mean, top esports, it's going to fall tonight. It's the MVP of the strongest team in the strongest region in the world. The only region at Worlds 2020 with 2 semifinalists. We're seeing them right now. One of them must fall. And one of them will face Dom1 in the finals to see if they can keep that 3-year LPL trophy heist going. Or the return of the LCK. We'll see. Right now, huanfeng just pushing down the waves, and we wait to see what the Ekko can do and what the Jax can do. Top lane turret did fall. It was the first one for top esports. Good job, Knight. Has to respect huanfeng. Gets poked down a little bit. possibility of a shield stun.
Next wave gets into the turret here, and they're going for it.
They find the kick. They find the assassination. An Angel is just that for 40 seconds. We'll see a reborn later, but it's time for Drake number 3.
Karsa the assassin. Now we're going again.
We got more assassination. Yuyanjia's going to go down. The support kill does not mean the end of it all, though. Can the 4v4 even happen, though, because Ben has arrived? Damage to SwordArt not rooted, though. What a great re-engage. SwordArt farmed the opportunity.
All right, got to keep your eyes open here. Knight is actually looking for a burst play. You can go in, Karsa can jump to you, look for the long Q, and they get...
Chance at a stun, just ults away. I like the attempt in case of the miss smite. There's really no cost there, but SofM does land the smite, does grab it, and now it's 2 Drakes apiece.
All right, Suning now stacking for themselves. I don't think it's going to turn into that. Could be a really long game, though, if we keep having plays like this. Karsa stealthily sneaks into the back. He bides his time, and he finds the priority target. And guess what, Angel? You're going right back to the fountain. That's for the Zoe game and all those Zoe bubbles he hit Karsa with. That's for making him die with the Rift Herald. Some sweet vengeance there for Karsa in this game. But honestly, again, the vision paramount. We keep on rattling on it. Karsa's always talk about vision, and it really does result in some of these game-changing plays.
Karsa smites in front of his brother, says, there's a chance you could have stolen this one, so we'll just make sure I grab this scuttle. No easy Baron sneaks. Now, it could be done with the blast plants from the red side jungle. That's actually a possibility for Suning. Doesn't seem likely, but it is one way you can play this because the ward control actually does belong to Suning around the Baron pit here. Clearing jungle camps for now. We sadly are not seeing Team at upgrade, at least not for a while. SofM goes all the way to his next defensive item. You know, you got the Spirit Visage in there. Hopefully one day we get the Tanic.
I mean, I love the damage that comes out for it. The reason when I mentioned it, I'm talking about solo Q builds because the burst damage when you have a Titanic is so good. If you get your pass-through on your Q, you get a bunch of extra attack speed. It gives you the attack reset as well right when you go in. But he is known for his tanky builds, of course, even on champions like Lee Sin, even on Olaf. He was the one that kind of started that redemption Olaf way back in the day.
Yeah.
So not surprised to see the Spirit Visage here. Let's take a look at how Top Esports try and continue to defend. And honestly, they've done a very good job with this. Caitlyn easily able to control mid while you just have Renekton hugging the turret. And Knight is really the one that kind of makes the more adventurous side lane play, trying to get a little breathing room for them.
So trying to farm as best they can, but you can see the amount of farm earned by Suning generally higher across the board. Every single role has higher CS, even including supports. So Suning just getting more of the waves, more of the jungle. Obviously, we've already seen more turrets. Drake's already tied up. Still waiting for the next big opening for Top Esports. They got the pick once in a while. They came back in kills. But farm and turrets, that still remained the gold difference. That's remained Suning being the better team so far in Game 3. SwordArt not going to be the easy target. Still fighting over wards back and forth. Losing Singularity gives some vision. Blue buff handoff goes to Ben, so he's going to have all kinds of mana sustain. Death Stance coming soon.
I also think he should be pushing really hard on this bottom side to gain some more territory for them. If they could crack secondary turret there, that puts so much more pressure on the Baron. Because bottom side is where you need to split push when you're trying to do the Baron dance for yourself. Furthest away requires the teleports in answer from TES. And there's really not anything that they can do about it. Here it is. This is the 1-4 with the Baron attempt just to draw out cooldowns. You have to be very, very quick about pulling off that Baron damage. You do not want to get caught inside the pit and get stunned up by an Ekko. That would be devastating for them. So there you go. You get your short cooldown out. You keep Ben down bottom side and just back off.
That's Lux ult down. As you mentioned, shorter cooldown. She has, I think, 30% CDR in the current build, so not too bad. But then JackeyLove also burns the blue trinket. So we got a bit of a downtime, but you can see Suning showing as they push the wave down. Nice route there, but they can't have the follow-through on a SwordArt. He's just too tanky anyway. And out they go. But it means that round 2 can happen. We're still about 15, 20 seconds from Lux ult being back up. So that is going to be a period of darkness that Suning can play around. But vision gotten. Karsa lands the Q on SofM, says okay, still not on Baron yet.
Honestly, here's an option for you too. Teleport your Shen down to the bottom side with your stand united, because top aren't going to start the Baron themselves, and you just bully down that tower with Shen Jax. Renekton cannot do anything to that. And that's a way to offensively and proactively use your cooldowns in this situation, rather than waiting around here where you do see, because yuyanjia has the early Mikhails. You talked about him rushing it so quickly.
Yeah.
Even the threat of the Leona we are talking about trying to punish on this side becomes null. And so if you're unwilling to kind of overload the Jax side, which I think is your trump card there, you know, either having someone trail that split push or even committing the extra cooldown to send Shen down there, you fall into the stalemate with TES where they are very happy to keep it going.
And top esports still keeping it going. The gold lead still sits about 3,000. It has flattened out. Now, third Drake is back alive. The recalls came through for soon. You can see the entire team coming out of the base. They delayed them as long as they could. They got the biggest spikes they could have. They have now walked back out of the map, though. In this Ocean Drake, you can see there is no contest here. He's going to spot it with the Scryer's Bloom. Theoretically, can look for the steal. Can go for it again. E over the wall, and it's not going to be enough. Shockwave comes through. Ult just gets him out, but Ben can find the stun. Isn't enough damage, though. That might be too much. The kick backwards. Shen over the top. The damage isn't enough. Has to jump back out to his squad. So it is not going to be any kills either side. Ulti's burned. Whoa, that is huanfeng coming forward. He arcane shifted in, was targeted. End of the day, though, no harm, no foul. Everyone is alive. 3 Ocean Drakes to Suning.
You better be throwing all your honors at SofM.
Wow.
SofM is so good with the smites. He hits another one. They're pinging onto the Baron already. Teleport used by Ben right back out there.
They know several ults are down right now. I mean, there's actually no ults up for top esports. As ult finds a bit of damage, they are burning this one down, and the triple Ocean Drake keeps them a bit healthier while making this play, while playing for the bait. Shockwave not up just yet. Ults are missing for Suning as well. What's it going to be? They know what's going on here. Knight still waiting out for his ult. He does have it now. And they can find the play. 4,800 left on Baron. They gotta get in. They gotta get in soon. It's 4K. It's high resolution Baron right now. Looking for the play. Forward they go. They find the stun. Knight gets over the wall. But he can't find his way back in. 369 cutting around back and forth. Still waiting for his own ulti back up. But Baron is resetting. And it's going to be okay. Top esports managed to weather the storm. They managed to delay and let Baron reset and fight for the wards.
I'm sweating here, Freak. That is so much more risky than even calling for a 4-1 dive of Jax Shen ultimate. If we're in the split push scenario, you Shen on your Jax, you just dive the Renekton. If he backs away, then you just take the turret. But starting the Baron like that is so risky. And you see top esports just throwing out the skill shots, playing it calmly once again on the world stage. These guys in there, oh my goodness, keeping a level head here pays off so big in these late game objective pulls.
Angel on weird components, I want to point out. I don't believe NLR plus blasting builds into anything in League of Legends. Got a kick now in the mid lane, finds his old teammate and tries to find it, but a flash gets him to safety, plus the Shen ulti. Big cooldowns burned, but Karsa did use his own ult for this play. Shorter than Shen ult, to be fair. It is 30 CDR, it's not too bad on the Shen side, but now ward control, river control goes to top esports. SofM looking for a flank play, spotted by wards though.
Got your stopwatches as well. Add the Renekton now with a stopwatch for himself, so the dive on him is really infeasible. Meanwhile, pushing, they've got priority on mid, but he's here.
Looking at a root on huanfeng. They're not going to find the stun from Knight just now as 369 pops his ulti, looking at SofM. But all the while, the box from Jax come through, and they find turret kill number 5.
They finally get to that pesky second turret on bottom side with the 3-item Jax, Freak. Whew. All right,
yeah.
we're definitely going the long haul. We are definitely going into Soul Dragon territory here. This is going to be the Ocean Soul, 2 minutes away. With the way that this has gone, I do not see them cracking through, even off of a pick, barring this Soul Dragon fight, which is going to be huge rewards for Suning. I think they need to invest a lot of these control wards first. It's almost 2 minutes before it comes up. If you just have your resets right now, make room in inventory for your control wards to move up so that you can actually play off the threat of that Leona.
But Kobe, Soul Point has lost every game this series so far. It's a dubious stat. It's just happened to become
quite
so far.
dubious.
It is very dubious. I would consider it a positive to have Soul Point. It just has gone the other way. JackeyLove, though, finally on 3-item Caitlyn, has been there for a while, gets really good damage out there. With the shields, he's going to feel safe. We got Shirelius coming through for yuyanjia, so it's going to be even more haste for the squad to get them in and out of fights as they need. SwordArt eats the trap, but still takes about 500 damage from big Caitlyn. The wave goes down. Top Esports feeling comfortable now playing around 3-item JackeyLove.
I would say as well, JackeyLove, if you're looking defensively, keep your eyes on him because he's going to have to pull the evasive maneuvers.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for the exciting play, it's all Knight. He's got a death cap on top of his Lichbane proto belt right now. You have to keep your eyes on the Ekko. You have to mark this Ekko with your stun. Either Leona or the Shen has to be peeling him because if Knight gets through with nobody CCing this Ekko, that could be the way that this game actually slips through the fingers of Suning. And it is going to come down to this dragon fight without even the side lane preparation getting in their favor. It looks like the split on bottom side might be just a party for Ben.
Gonna get him in time though. 30 seconds, 25. Looking for the stun. Can they find him? They get a slow only, but they're gonna follow through onto this one. The squad is coming around, the huanfeng right behind, Angel nearby as well. SofM waiting on the ulti. Ben has a turret, but that turret can drop pretty quickly. They get the kickback, but it's not an easy target. Karsa, there is a turret there. It's not gonna work, and he dies at the crucial time. Ocean Soul alive in 7 seconds, and there's no jungler to steal. Here comes the TP play. Suning tries to end the game right now. Ben is on both sides of top esports. Puts on the dodge, looks for yuyanjia, finds that stun, looks for the shutdown. They're gonna get the kill thanks to huanfeng. Now on the backside, it's the ulti out of Knight trying to get alive. Angel gotta be careful, does get away. Same comes through for Knight and JackeyLove, but it is a 5v3. Ocean Soul cannot be stolen realistically. And Suning should have all the cards they need to close this one out.
You 5-person gank Ben, he's gonna teleport right back out and 1v4 gank you. He cuts off their escape and they are able to pick up not only the Soul Freak, but control over Baron territory as well. TES will have one last thing to say about it. Spellbook over for the extra mana as well. Clarity popped out, but that Baron will be melted.
It's going to go down. You don't have much of a chance to stop this one. Full health and mana the entire time. Ocean Soul does not help if you are bursted. The fact that we have Mortal Reminder already in for the Caitlyn, the Executioners for Renekton, those are going to help in the team fights. But these are very clearly looking like one-sided battles. 5,000 gold difference. Axe replay here. Ben, 1v4 into 1v4.
I mean, he's able to kite out. He stayed in for the stun. He was able to get the range. And right here, too deep, man! Too deep, Karsa! Too deep, my friend! Oh, they wanted to make the big clutch play. That's one of the things where you know that you have to make a big play to come back into this game as Soul is arriving. But right there, with the extra inventory, they're not able to pull it off. Then Ben teleports right back out, cuts off their escape, using the counter-strike, dodging out on the skill shot. He actually just makes the entire play complete there. This guy has been on fire. He has not stopped since 2 minutes into this game.
Yeah. I will say, with his Red Bull Baron going on for now, that yuyanjia did miss his light binding off the Lee Sin kick. He shorted it.
True.
The angle was wrong. That fight looks a little different. If he's rooted in place, he doesn't get the jump back stun. Shen arrives away from the turret. Like, it can look different with different mechanics. So I don't want to be like full Karsa screwed up because maybe it's different with the skill shot landing. Regardless, desperation was happening, and it's a 6,000 gold lead with inhibitor turrets likely to fall.
All right, now with the Baron buff, though, so much easier for Suning to play the split push game. 2 buffed up cannon minions right now will do the work for them. Ben does not have to risk anything for himself. Rest of the lanes will go down passively as Suning close in on top esports, and they close in on set point of the series.
Looking likely here. It'll be a top esports comeback that they can win, and a very big one at that. Suning have already taken down two of the very best teams in the world in their run to the Summoners Cup. Looking at another one right now. Looking at a 2-1 lead in the best of 5. Double match point. Ben looks at bot lane, respects the fact that there could be more of a dive, and SwordArt, that could be the target. No light binding, no play for the tank. And able to simply take chip damage again and again. Angel gets sniped pretty hard. The shield is sadly on cooldown a little bit too long. But mid lane turret at 1/3, bot lane below a half. Even top being chipped out a little bit by SofM. Ben is just unattackable. I mean, he's got Guardian Angel, he's level 18, he's full health and mana.
Yeah.
It'll always be full health and mana because of Ocean Soul. Even against minions, is not that bad of regen. The light binding's going to mean almost nothing here.
Yeah, I mean, as we said at the very beginning of the game, dream scenario for Jax. He's living the dream right now. He's fully operational inside the base, cannot be stopped. He's going for the kills.
Goes for the flash stun on JackeyLove. They're going to knock him down. A killing spree for Ben, and he wants even more. yuyanjia is stuck in front of the Nexus, barely walks away. 369 the target here as well. Double dash the way on Renekton, stays alive, but the base is in shambles. Suning take down a kill. They take down 2 inhibs. They will find a 3rd as well, and they will also look for the Nexus. 5v4. Baron times out, but the Ocean Soul is still on. They are ready to go for even more. How good can Top Esports fight? Right now, 369 is going to lose his Guardian Angel, and there is not enough damage being dealt. Knight is going to try, heals his health back up, but there's still no chance. They're going to find the Shockwave to knock down 369. They're going to knock down an inhibitor. They're going to knock down turrets soon. huanfeng stuck in a bad spot, but he's still got the shielding. A double kill already for Angel, and they're going to look now for the Nexus turrets themselves. They may not have won an LPL title, but they will knock down every single LPL team when it matters most at Worlds, as they will knock down the Nexus in Game 3 to double match point for Suning.
What a story here for Suning. All the way from 11th in the regular season in spring in the LPL to game point, match point here versus the #1 LPL seed in the semifinals of Worlds.
And the pressure mounts and mounts and mounts for Suning. In your home country, it's been since 2014, the last time a team won Worlds in their own region. And we know we were going to have an LPL finalist. People thought it was probably going to be JD Gaming or Top Esports. Suning is showing that they are the best team from the LPL at Worlds, and they only need to close one more Nexus to prove that, and then try to do what Samsung White did in 2014, which is win on home soil against Damwon Gaming. We'll see if they can do that. And of course, throughout Worlds, MasterCard is highlighting everyone watching from around the globe in MasterCard's Fans of the Decade. Today, we say hello to Jenny, who's cheering for the LPL teams in Shanghai.
我印象最深刻的一场比赛是2015年的 MSI LPR 第一次在 BO5 的时候打败了 SKT 夺得了冠军。今年希望 LPR 在主场再夺冠军 ，LPR 加油！
Born free as the wind blows, as free as the grass grows, born free to follow your heart. Live free and beauty surrounds you.
Axe. Smell ready.
I don't really consider it gear. It's an extension of who I am. It blurs the line between fantasy and reality. Sometimes, I can't tell myself from my machine. I think that's by design.
Welcome to the world, no heroes and villains. Welcome to the war, we've only begun. So pick up your weapon and face it. There's blood on the ground, boy, take it. You get one shot to make it out alive. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your bones, go and take it. This is your moment. Now is your time.
Welcome back to the State Farm Analyst Zone. Now, Suning move on to match point in today's semifinal. Much in thanks to River Shen. I'm FLICKR, this is Caitlyn, and because we had a River Shen, we are going to use our resident jungle expert to talk about River Shen. So first and foremost, why was River Shen picked? We're going to go ahead and take a look at the picks and bans, and Caitlyn, kind of walk me through how he's supposed to work with these compositions.
Well, the thing I like about it is they see the Ekko and they think, well, they have a split pusher. So let's pick away the Shen. And the Shen looks like, well, it could be a solo lane Shen, so then they respond with the Renekton. So we'll have top prio, maybe we'll have a winning top side. We can go for a 1-3-1. But the thing is, they put the Shen in the jungle, then they pick a Jax, which is not considered a huge counter to Renekton, but it will win over the side lane. And then we'll play for the 1-4 comp to counter their 1-3-1, to keep the mid prio, to make sure our Jax is unleashed and have the Shen ults ready for him.
The other thing that I really like to see, we're talking about kind of the 1v1 dueling potential of Shen, especially in this particular jungle matchup across from the Lee Sin. So I believe that we do have the runes and items. We can go ahead and get those up on the screen. And can you kind of walk me through the power of Shen, just in kind of like his base stats and how he's kitted out?
So I think the most important thing you have to note on Shen is the PTA. I think level 3 Shen with red buff, if he lands a taunt, pops the Q, he basically one-shots you. If you look at the items as well, we've got the Ultimate Hunter, he's got the Last Stand. Things like this are just so impactful on Shen, because the Ultimate Hunter, if you get some kills early, you can use your ult a lot more. The Zombie Ward as well is super effective for clearing out vision. You get a big vision score, you get all the wards, the Zombie Ward is super effective. And if you look at the items as well, he went Lucidity Boots into Spirit Visage, and they only had one AP damage, they only had the Ekko, but the whole reason for his build was just to go for CDR. Later on, he went for a Warmogs, full CDR for the ult.
Would there be another, because Kobe was talking about it on cast, would there be another option for Shen's itemization here, or do you think that this is just the best case scenario in terms of power farming, staying on the map as long as possible, and then being a utility cooldown monster?
So yeah, the Tiamat's basically for the clear. He wants to keep clearing while his team's fighting, and then the CDR is what he needs. I think the next item coming in could be something like a Knight's Vow, even a Locket, just go full support Shen. As soon as you land the ult, just pop all your support items.
Okay, perfect. Now let's actually walk through the clear itself and some of the decision-making that SofM was making on this River Shen. I believe we have our clip. It's in 2x speed. Take it away, Caitlyn.
Yeah, so the thing that's important to note here is Karsa went red to red here. He does get spotted on this ward. That's one of his own wards, actually, but the blue ward here, so SofM knows his red's being taken. And the thing is, SofM's level 3 and Karsa is only level 2 because he only did red. He needs a Gromp to level up or a Krux. So he goes for the top gank. Bin easily gets away, and now the problem is SofM shows up, and now he's still level 2, the wave's pushing in. Karsa needs to get Gromp to level up so he can get level 3 to contest his top wave, but SofM has Smite, he shows up. Karsa has the Smite too, but the fact that SofM has PTA and he's level 3, it means that Karsa can't really fight it, and as soon as his taunt lands, it's kind of over for him. The PTA, the Q, the auto attacks, the W, Karsa can't. Exactly, and Karsa smites to stay alive, otherwise he'd have to flash. The fact that SofM smites it away and now he's level 3, he can basically look for a top dive.
Yep, the slow push coming in. The fact that you said that he didn't get the Gromp, so he didn't get access to level 3, and then this is probably the best case scenario for a Jax at this point. How, like, if this is your game, how doomed is this?
It's super doomed. I think Bin played it so well. You could see Karsa ward jump back to get to the tower, and then Bin hold the E and then E flash. So Karsa couldn't react to this flash. If he was to QE, I think Karsa could flash away, and there's a room for outplay. And I think the two most important things that came out of that play was, first of all, Jax gets a kill. Second of all, Jax gets TP advantage. In a carry matchup lane, if you have TP advantage, you can trade like a monkey, and then you can just base and TP back.
So at this point, obviously Ben is going to pop off. Kobe said it in cast, I'll repeat it here. He had the dream case scenario. He got to the late game Jax, he was virtually unkillable. He got to do whatever he wanted. Yep. Were there any options for top? They decided to go into the bot lane, they were trying to force ganks. If you were Karsa at that point, is it just like, see a top lane, I guess I'll see you next game, or?
Basically, I mean, if you look top, you saw like a Cull and a Executioners versus a Blade on the Jax, so never going to win 2v2, never probably even going to win 1v2 because the Shen ult can come out, so he has to play bot side. I think they did a good job around playing around bot side, even though JackeyLove and yuyanjia did get 2v2 killed by an Ezreal Leona when they're playing Caitlyn, which is slightly illegal, but will allow it. And then they got some bot dives off. Knight got ahead on the Ekko, but the thing is, the Ekko is not enough to match the Jax. You can pop the dodge, he can't land the E, it's hard for him to get the passive off, and then the Jax naturally always wins.
Yep, so even though Knight got ahead, but let's go ahead and check out Suning's Mercedes drive to victory. Bin's escape before the Ocean Soul. So this Jax got ahead, he got rolling, and then when it really counted, he also made the great getaway. I believe this is when the binding misses and Karsa goes super deep on this kick.
Karsa goes way too deep. I think he thinks that he has way more time to buy, but the dodge comes out, the Shen ult comes out, now he's stuck on a tower, no flash, gets taken down, and then Bin just instantly TPs behind them, and there's a lot of small micro things that Bin does here. He's level 17, he probably didn't notice it, but he instantly starts hitting the creeps, and you might think, why? Well, he knows he's a couple of XP from leveling up, gets the last creep, levels up to level 18, now he's super strong, jumps in, gets the flash away from JackeyLove, and basically starts the fight. That's all he wanted to do. The TP wasn't for him to flank and kill all 4 of them, because it's a 1v4 situation. But his team's collapsing, he gets the engage, gets the flashes, and then they just win the fight.
Do you have any strong opinion if that binding had landed from yuyanjia on the Lux there, if maybe that would have been a difference maker? Because obviously Top are just throwing the Hail Mary right before the Ocean Soul to try to get themselves back into the game. Or even if it does, is it just too close to call?
It's a desperation play. I think that they had to go for it. I think if the binding landed, it would be the same outcome. Bin had the ult, he had the dodge up, he had so much to just buy time. Yes, the binding will land, he doesn't have much nasty. Yes, the Caitlyn will get the trap, but the fact that he can dodge the auto from the trap, the Shen also come in as well. I think the Shen dodge as well will come in. So many dodges, and then I think they would lose the fight.
Thank you so much, Cadril, for that intense breakdown. Now, when we return, it is match point for Suning as they look to secure a final spot in the World's Final. Let's go.
Lovely.